Welcome to a exciting and special episode of Steel Plays. Today we are playing StarCraft 2. And what are we doing here today? Well, that is interesting. We are showing you how each individual army works and how to play the game. In order to play this game, you have to build stuff, and from that stuff you build army. Now, you have clicking on when your basic things is you have this mouse right here, and with this mouse you can click on individual units or buildings. If I can click on it, there we go. We got them. There we go. We got a unit. We clicked on them. We did the click thing, and you can click on a building. And certain units have powers and abilities, and certain units have the ability to do all kinds of stuff, as well as buildings. Buildings can do stuff too, or buildings serve a purpose. All things in this game that you do serve a purpose. And so we're going to find out what that is. This building particularly builds SCVs. I'm going to go over here, build one. An SCV is one of these guys right here. These are your worker units. These basically gather you money and gas. You need money to build things, but you also need gas to build things as well. So anything beyond basic requires gas in order to build. So how building works is you grab a worker. Your workers can both mine and they can build things. So I'm going to go to build. That's this B one right here. And you can pick on your buildings. Your first building is the command center. Your second building is a refinery. I'm going to go ahead and put a refinery down. So as you can see, he walks over and he starts building. That's how Terrans work. The SCVs will build buildings. It's different for each race, as you'll see later on, but that's basically what the SCVs do. Now, you can also have them build extra buildings. So watch this. SCV. Now it's building a supply depot. Now, let me go ahead and just explain these three right here. You have your money, your gas, and your supply. Your supply affects how many units you can have. Units are anything that is living or movable, not buildings. Basically, anything that you make that is not a building is a unit or supply. So right now I can have up to 23 because I built a supply depot. Supply depots allow you to have higher supply. And so if I wanted to, I could build up to 23 of these SCVs right here, but I'm not. But we're going to go ahead and we're just going to have him build until the end of the time. Roger. Not necessarily until the end of time, but we're going to build enough supply depots that we won't have to worry about units at all, because I want to make sure that we have enough units to show you everything in the game. But basically, you can have up to, I believe, 200 supply, which allows for a pretty sizable army as well as workers. You want to have a lot of workers because the more workers you have, the more money they bring in. Let's go ahead and let's grab 3 of these guys, or actually, we'll just put this. All right. So what happens is you can take a building such as this and you can assign it to a location. Command centers you can assign to your minerals or your Vespian gas geyser. You can assign it straight to it and the worker will go straight to work at it. So that's just how that works. And they'll go ahead and gather enough that we can make pretty much anything we want. Alright, so let's go to a second building. What's a second building? Now, the next building that you want to build is a barracks. Let's go ahead and let's move that up here. There we go. You want to have plenty of this so we can get some money going. We got the barracks, and I'm going to go ahead and have him go ahead and build an engineering bay. And when the barracks is done, I'll just how this works is you have to build buildings in order to unlock other buildings. In order to have the barracks, you have to have a supply depot. In order to have a bunker, you have to have a barracks. so on and so forth. So it's like unlocking a tier list of units and buildings and such to build better stuff. By the way, a real good tip if you're going to play this game, learn the hotkeys or set the hotkeys yourself to something easy for you to get. It gives you 5 slots right here. That's very useful. That allows you to use basically all your home row keys on the keyboard. If you're playing, I mean, I don't think this is on anything but computer, but basically use the hotkeys. It'll make things a lot better and it'll make you a better player. Alright, let's go ahead and have him, we're going to have him build a bunker right here. And we'll have him build a turret. And he'll move on from the turret to the sensory tower. And then from the sensory tower to a factory. Put that down here. And from the factory to the Ghost Academy. Okay. I'll explain what these do in a second. Okay, so first off we have the barracks. The barracks allows you to build your basic units, which are the Reaper and the Marine. At first you can build the basic units. You can eventually tech up to build better units, but right now you can only do the Reaper and the Marine. And, that's what it does. It builds barracks units. Barracks are your infantry, your ground guys, and you know, these are going to be your bread and butter kind of units, the ones you're going to be making a whole lot of. I mean, you can go. It's kind of like playing a card game like Yu-Gi-Oh or something like that. There's different styles of playing, for instance, or Magic the Gathering. So let's say you're building a green deck. You can go Swarm, or you can go really big creatures. So that's kind of how Terran works. Alright, let's go ahead and we're going to build a tech lab. You have the 2 options. You have the tech lab and you have the other one. The other one allows you to build 2 units at a time. The tech lab allows you to get more advanced units as well as upgrades. This right here is an engineering bay. The engineering bay is your basic upgrade building. It allows you to upgrade all your barracks units. E is your weapons. A is your defense. H right here is auto tracking. This basically helps your missile turrets and your planetary fortress. It allows them to basically target things faster. It's kind of a must. Oh wow, investment gas almost out. It's kind of a must when it comes to verse games. You want to have that right there, the auto tracking, kind of as fast as you can, but you also don't want to skip out on other things. Right here, the neon steel armor. It's an upgrade you're probably not really going to get until like maybe late game. It allows your buildings to have better defense as well as your bunker to be able to carry more people. It's kind of really useful. And how much gas? 150. Let's go ahead and let's grab one of these guys right here. He can build a refinery, and you are going to build a refinery as well. Gotcha. There. Alright. So, anyway. So yeah, you can basically get that and your bunkers will upgrade. Alright, so a bunker is a kind of building that you can put units inside of, as long as they're like ground units. You really want to put Marines or Ghosts or something in it, but yeah, basically they can't be harmed and they can fire from it. Problem is, bunker's stationary, so that's the downside of a bunker. You can plant them down, and your guys kind of hide in them and shoot things, but they can't be hurt as long as the bunker's still alive. Another neat trick of the bunker is that you can actually salvage it and get 75% of the money you spent on it back. Let's go ahead and put this right here. You can go in there too. Alright. Alright. Anyway, this right here is a missile turret. What a missile turret does, let's go ahead and pump out a couple of these guys too before I explain missile turret. Basically, flying things. If anything's flying near a missile turret, it'll actually target them and automatically start firing at them. So it'll shoot down airplanes and stuff like that. I mean, there's no airplanes in this game, but any flying thing. A sensory tower allows me to basically know if enemies are coming from outside my sight. All this this darkness is called the fog of war. I cannot see into the fog of war. I can only see where my unit's range of sight is. For instance, let's see it. As this guy moves, I can see, but only in his range of sight. So right there, let's I can't zoom out. That's too bad. Anyway, where he is, I can only see that far, but not into that darkness area. But yeah, that's the fog of war. Let's go ahead and put him right there. Alright, but the sensory tower will allow me to know if any enemy units are coming. It'll be a little red dots or a whole bunch of red dots heading towards my base or whatever. But it only goes up to where that line is. But that's actually really far area. Alright, so he can go right here. I might have it by now. Do I have the upgrade by now? Let's see. Nope. Alright. So as far as the tech lab goes, you can get upgrades for your barracks units with that as well. But these are special upgrades. Gives Marines 10 extra health. That's like, that's so much. Trust me. It's like 1/5 of their HP. See, they have 45 HP. So plus 10 is like so much more. Then you got right here Stim Pack, which actually takes away a lot of their HP, but it makes them super fast and fire super fast. So basically they can kill things before they die, but at the cost of like 10% of their health. Right here, concussive shells. This dude right here, when he fires at an enemy with concussive shells, they'll move slowly, which is great. That means that you can fire at them so many times. If they're, say, melee or something, they have to get melee range to attack you. It'll take them longer to get to you. You can hit them that many more times before they get to you. So concussive shells is actually a really good one. Anyway, let's talk about our units. Right here, we have the Marine. Let's move him into sight. So this is the Marine. It's your basic unit. As you can see, is really small, and they're meant to be in groups. What he can do is he has a gun right there, and he can fire things in the sky or fire at things on the ground, and he fires really fast. Oh, he got his upgrade. See, a little shield. But yeah, when you get your upgrade, it appears on their body. Anyway, but yeah, he fires pretty fast, and he can move. Of course, you kind of want Marines to be with another unit. I'm going to show you in a little bit. By the way, the bunker got their upgrade, I think. Hold on, let me see. No? Not yet? Okay, I'll keep an eye on it so I can tell you. But yeah, that's the Marine. And you kind of want to pair the Marine with this dude right here. This dude is the Marauder. Marauder is kind of like the upgraded version of an old unit from StarCraft 1 called the Firebat. But this is made for Protoss fighting. They got 125 health. That's like 3 times what this dude has. And they don't even have any upgrades, really. But only thing is, he can't fire at things in the sky, only on the ground. But whatever he fires at on the ground is going to take quite a bit of damage. He also kind of moves a little slow. But in groups with the Marine, they're just really good together. Now, right here, we got the Ghost. Okay? The Ghost here is basically a kind of sniper unit. The Ghosts are really, really powerful, but you kind of want to get them late game when they're upgraded quite a bit so they can do a ton of damage. They fire very slowly, but what they fire, they do a lot of damage with. Let's see. 11, 22 on light. They can fire at ground and air. They have this thing called steady targeting that allows them to just do 170 damage. That's like I could instant kill anything right here with that. And then EMP rounds basically knock out like, see that second meter right there? That's spelled that's MP. You can basically just say it's MP. Yeah, it's 200 MP. It's energy, but it allows him to do things like this right here. But it costs 75. But if he casts on somebody, it'll make their MP go down by 100, which is a ton. All right. Now he's also got this thing, cloak. But of course, apparently you have to research cloaking. I thought cloaking was free. Whatever, cloaking, and then nuke. So basically, cloaking allows him to be invisible unless you have some form of detection, like, for instance, this right here. A missile turret can detect anything within its range. So if he was invisible, he'd be visible within the range of a missile turret. But yeah, and he also has the ability to fire down a nuclear warhead. He'll aim at a spot, and after like 30 seconds, the nuclear warhead will fall down, and anything stupid enough to stay in that spot will be dead. Sometimes, if you're sneaky with a nuke and people aren't paying attention, you can nuke like an entire army of people, and they'll just be dead. This right here is the Reaper. This is going to be your starting unit most of the time. He'll just be for scouting purposes, but he moves really, really fast. That's his appeal. He can move really fast, and not only can he move really fast, but he regenerates health. Where is it? Yeah, right here. He regenerates health. So if he has 60 HP, that's more HP than a Marine. He regenerates health. He costs about the same as a Marine. Thing is, he doesn't fire as much as a Marine. Doesn't deal even half the damage of a Marine. A Marine here, how much damage does he do? He does 7 damage, but it's over like half a second. So like every second he's dealing 14 damage practically. Whereas this guy deals 5 damage every second, practically. Maybe 8. He does half the damage of a Marine, and it's not very good. Yeah, he's not very good when it comes to damage. He can still do some decent damage, just not very much. His deal is that he can jump up walls, whereas a Marine has to walk around. Yeah, so they're very agile, very fast, and they can regenerate health. Now, another thing they can do is they can toss a little charge right there, and anything in that area will be knocked back. Alright, so now we got it. As you can see, the bunker has more health, and it can hold more people. There we go. That's 4, 5, 6. 2 more people. That's a lot. Let's go ahead and exit this dude out. Alright. Now, the stim pack is the thing that the Marines can do, right? That I was telling you about. Let me just show you real quick how fast they move. See how he lost 10 HP? But look how much faster he can move. Not only can he move faster, he can fire faster too, so that's like way more damage. Alright. We're going to go ahead and pump out a couple of these. We have the Hellion, the Widow Mine, and we got a tech lab and thing on reactor on this thing as well. Let's see. Oh, we're all mined out, aren't we? Let me just grab all of them. Alright. We're going to go ahead and build an armory and a spaceport. Is there anything I'm missing? I'm also missing the fusion core. Yeah. Oh, I can do a spray. Yeah, let's do a spray right there for whatever reason. Let's just spray around the entire area. That's kind of cool. Alright. Anyway. Let's go ahead and build the tech lab so we can make the bigger units. Alright, so this right here is a Hellion. Hellions have 2 forms. They have the Hellbat, which is this right here, and they also have the Hellion. The Hellion, is a vehicle that moves really, really fast. When they attack in a straight line. Hold on, let me attack things, as you can see. Whereas the Hellion itself, I mean the Hellbat, I mean it can basically transform it out and turn into this dude. Hellbat's like an upgraded version of the Firebat as well, just it's a mech version of the Firebat. It really is just the Firebat. As you can see, he can burn. He doesn't shoot in the line, but he kind of covers a little area. And they're very good if you get a bunch of them moving out like this, and then you got to switch between that and these vehicle forms so you can move faster. So you do that to move across the field, and then when you get to the spot you want to be, you want to transform them all and then attack. There we go. Anyway. Alright, so now we got the Widow Mine. Widow Mines, do I have Tunneling Claw? I don't have Tunneling Claw at all, do I? Drilling Claw, sorry. No, I don't have Drilling Claw. Let's go ahead and just upgrade. Let me just tell you what the upgrades are real quick before I tell you what the Widow Mine is. This upgrades the Hellbat to Flame instead of regular Flame. Does a lot more damage. This is a missile for a unit called the Cyclone. It allows it to basically lock on to enemies and attack them from way further distance. Drilling Claw allows the Widow Mine to basically be permanently invisible when it's dug underground. Normally, without that, if they're underground, they'll turn visible once they attack. This is Smart Servos. Basically allows any unit that has the ability to change shape to just do it faster. Anyway, Widow Mine. Widow Mine is a unit that travels around kind of like a little spider, and it plants itself into the ground. When it's planted into the ground, anybody comes near it that it is an enemy, it goes inside this spot, it'll target, and then if it stays in its range for just a second, it'll fire a blast at it and do like a ton of damage. I'm not going to kill one of my own units. Let's dig him up, have him target this. Alright. Oh, I can't have him target it. Whatever. But anyway, yeah, he'll just basically shoot shot, and it'll take like I think it takes like 30 seconds for him to recharge, or yeah, 30 seconds for him to recharge in between shots. But it does just a ton of damage, especially people who have shields and stuff. Super useful. What you do with them is you take them, you plant them down somewhere you know an enemy's going to be, at a base or something like that. And then when they send their units there, they'll just, they'll destroy them. Oh yeah, let me show you the nuke.
Out with it.
Let's go ahead and fire the nuke. Right there, seems good. Alright, so yeah, he'll lock onto that spot, and anything within that area, when this goes down, will just be dead. Including my dude, so I want to keep him far away, but yeah.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah, and it does, let's see how much damage it did. 500 damage. That'll kill just about anything. Alright. Put that guy right there. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and build a Cyclone, a siege tank, and frickin' Thor. Thors, man. Thors, they're crazy. Now, let me put on a tech lab for this. Let me explain the armory. The armory allows you to upgrade any sort of mechanical unit, such as the Hellbat, Spider-Mine, Thor, flying vehicles, so on and so forth. It upgrades them for either damage or armor. But the damage between the flying and the ground are kind of separated, so you gotta choose wisely what you're gonna upgrade there. But the armor works for both ground and air, so that's really useful. But basically it's the same as this one right here, just it's for mechanical things. Talking about this tech leg right here. Right here, rapid fire works on rapid regeneration system. Oh, okay, this right here allows a certain flying unit to fly faster. This right here allows for one unit to have more energy. This allows another unit to have cloak. This allows another unit to move faster. A fusion core. Let's build a fusion core. Fusion core. Put the fusion core there. Alright. And let's put the flying units right there. Kind of separate them out. Oh, I need a fusion core for that too. Okay. Let's go ahead and talk about the Cyclone. Cyclone's a good basic unit you can have if you're going mech. But basically, this vehicle, it fires really, really fast. And anything that gets locked on within its range can't really escape. It has a really, really, really far range. But yeah, it does a ton of damage. It moves fast, as you can see. And it has quite a bit of HP. The only downside is it costs quite a bit to make, so you want to kind of keep them alive. This right here is another bread and butter of the Terran units. This right here is the siege tank. It does pretty decent damage when it comes to like when it's in normal mode, where it can kind of move and fire. Like for instance, as you see. But hold on. See how it fires that fast? It's pretty good. But when you put it into siege mode, it gets stuck under the ground. Can't be. It's stuck on the ground. It's stuck there. Can't move it. Try to click somewhere, it won't move. But anything within that range, right there, consider it dead, because it does a lot of damage. It does splash damage. So let's say there's like 10 people right here. He'll hit one of them and he'll hit all of them for like 44 to 75 damage. That's a lot. Even though it attacks every 2 seconds, that's a lot of damage. Anyway. So yeah, siege tank, really, really good. Then we got the Thor. This is probably one of the more expensive units in the Terran army, but 100% worth it. Let me try to get a good look at him. Alright, so it's a mech. It's a transformer. It's a Gundam. But basically it has two modes, high impact mode, and then let's see, high impact mode and non-high impact mode, I guess. It can impact mode, I believe, is it's a splash damage. It's like what the siege tank does. Then there's high impact mode, I think, that attacks single units. So it depends. One of them does 33, and the other one does 14. Excuse me. But yeah, it's quite a bit of damage, and it has really good fire range. It has 400 health, and the trade-off to their extremely high damage and HP is they're super, super expensive. Everything in this game, by the way, it costs minerals and or gas. This right here is just minerals, and this right here is just minerals, and I'm pretty sure this dude right here is just minerals. But everything else in this game has a gas requirement. And this guy right here, he has some of the most gas requirement. That's 300 minerals and 200 gas. That's a ton. That's like more than most buildings. That's more than this building. That's one of the most expensive buildings. By the way, this building can be upgraded in 2 different ways. Let me go ahead and have him build another command center so I can show you that as well.
Yeah, whatever.
Alright. Oh yeah, since I got a fusion core, I might as well get the... Alright, we got that as well. Anyway, so yeah. Super expensive, but completely worth it. Alright, let's go over here. We're going to talk about our basic units. We have the medevac. The medevac is a healer, and it can fly. and it can load up people. So watch this, it's going to automatically heal them. See that? That's kind of cool, right? Not only that, but it can pick up units. And of course, they can drop off units. Not only can it drop off units, but it can, you know, let's say you're trying to get somewhere, but you need to get there fast. You can actually activate your afterburners, which allow you to move pretty fast for a couple of seconds. Now, most of the units in here will take either 1 or 2 slots, but there is only a couple of units that will take up a whole slot. This is one of them. Boom. Look at that. Look at that. It allows the Thors to move faster. You can just kind of drop them off. Boom. It's kind of cool. But it only heals bio units. So if you're using it to carry something, you probably want it to use it to carry bio units that can heal. If it's a mech unit, it's probably not going to be of much use other than like Thors or possibly tanks. Oh, you can carry 2 tanks? That's crazy. But yeah. They carry units and they heal. You want to pair them mainly with just an army full of Marines and Marauders. So just like a bunch of these. And like three of these ships full of Marines and Marauders. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. So yeah, basically 4 Marines and 2 Marauders per medevac, and just fly it somewhere and drop them off. You have like an army right there that can be healed. That's crazy powerful. Anyway, that's what this chick does. Let's move over to we're gonna go with the Banshee. So the Banshee is kind of like the Ghost right here. By the way, the Ghost, forgot to show you, he can turn invisible. Like I said, he turns invisible, and it only lasts for so long. But the fact is, he's invisible, and things can't attack it unless they're targeting it. So that's just useful. Anyway, the Banshee is a flying version of that. It can move around, and it can also turn invisible. The only downside about a Banshee is they can only target things on the ground. You can't target things in the air. So this is kind of a downside. But it can fly fast, it can go invisible, and you know, flying's super useful because you can go over things, right? So flying straight to your enemy's base is no problem unless they have like turrets or something. Anyway, yeah, that's what the purpose of these guys are. You're not going to see too much of this because you know, they're really used. They only have like 1 use, and you're not going to see it that often. I mean, you are going to see it on somebody who knows how to use these and exploit them, but most people can just counter them with just 1 of these right here. Yeah. Alright, so now we got the Viking. This right here is the dude. This is your jet ship, or whatever you want to call it. This ship right here is made for sky battles. Anything in the air, it will kill. Especially in groups. You have a bunch of these, you can take down anything in the air. But they also have a second form. They have mech form, and they can fight things on the ground. Now, they're not really used on the ground often, but if you have to fight stuff on the ground, you gotta bring them to the ground. So, you know, if your ground units are out, you have to continue the fight on ground. Boom, land your Viking, start attacking. Also, fun fact, I don't know why you would do this, but if for some stupid reason you wanted to do this, you can indeed pick up a Viking. I don't know why, but yeah, hold on, let's send her over here. There you go. Done. But yeah, I don't know why you would pick up a Viking since they can fly, but you know, whatever. Yeah, this is your Sky Battler, and they can also transform into a mech form. Alright, so let's go over to the Ravens. Okay, so Ravens are basically flying towers. They can see any invisible units. Their vision is amazing, but they're kind of squishy, as you see, 140 health. They have magic though, that makes them super helpful. But yeah, basically Ravens can see the invisible. That makes them super useful versus, you know, invisible targets. They also have this right here, where they can drop auto turrets. These things do tons of damage, and they're kind of useful if you want to just throw them out a little, help out. This right here, interference matrix, will stop a unit from being able to attack altogether. And then you have this right here, the anti-armor missile. The anti-armor missile, it takes a second to target onto your opponent, but once it targets, it'll fly straight to them. It doesn't matter if they're running away or not. It will fly to them and then hit everything in the area of that unit. That is super useful. So like, let's say in units right here, and you target him with it, and then he walks back to the group of the army that they're with. It'll head straight to him, into the army, and attack all the army that he's with as well. And they'll all take, how much damage is that? I don't remember how much damage it was, but it'll do a ton of damage to them and lower their shields. So super useful, really cool. And you want to kind of have like maybe one Raven with a group of like Vikings and stuff and like Marines and whatever you're using. You probably want maybe one Raven. All right, so now we're going over to the Liberator. Liberators are kind of like these guys right here. They can they can fire in the air, but they have two modes. They can switch between air and ground mode, but they have to kind of siege up. So more like the tank. So they're kind of like the sky version of the tank. They're okay in the air, you know, but you don't really want to use them to attack in the air because they don't do much damage. But when they go into their siege mode, right there, defender mode, then anything that enters this circle is dead. It can do how much damage in defender mode? 80 damage. That's a lot. So basically anything in this, probably dead. Thor can take about 5 hits from it, but anything that's a normal unit is dead. So you get like 4 or 5 of these, you plant down some circles, and it's just like dead. Let's see, what is that? Advanced ballistics allows them to basically have a further range. That's probably something on the tech lab I didn't get. Yeah, let's see. Alright, so now we're going to talk about the final unit. The final unit is the Battle Cruiser. Battle Cruisers didn't get good until recently. They have probably been my favorite Terran unit for like ever. They just happen to be one of the worst Terran units. But basically this is the Starship Enterprise, and it is really good. It's also really slow. As you see, they have 550 health. They have tons of attack, tons of defense. One thing that they do have in this game that they couldn't do before is they can teleport. It takes a second for them to teleport, but once they teleport into a spot, like this would be the enemy's mineral line. They'd just be attacking all their workers, and they have like all the health in the world, so it's like nothing can really kill them for so many seconds. But it takes about a minute and a half for that cooldown to recharge so they can teleport again. So if you send them over there, it's kind of a death sentence, but you'll get tons of work done while they're over there. Another thing they can kind of do is they have this thing called the Yamato cannon. Hold on. See if I can fire it at some rocks or something. Fire it over here at this rock. Yamato cannons do like just a ton of damage. 2 of these take out just about anything, and but it has a recharge rate as well. But basically, yeah, look at this. He can actually move and fire at the same time, but of course I can't really target non-enemy structures very well with that. But yeah, he can move and fire at the same time, and he fires really fast, and each one of those that you see is 6 damage. Every last one of them. 6 or 7 damage. What's that say? 9 damage. Every one of those is 9 damage. That's 9 damage each. That's a lot of damage. They're not as good air-to-air attacks, so like 6 damage in air-to-air fights. But ground attacking, this thing does a ton of damage. Now the Yamato cannon, like I said, does just a ton of damage. Watch this. Yeah, 240 right there. That's a lot of damage. And you don't have to pay for it. That's the difference between this and a nuke. So you don't have to pay for it. So yeah, you know, really good unit now, since it has the ability to move and fight at the same time. As before, you have to stop in order for it to attack. Now it can just move and attack. That's just great. Anyway, yeah, that's the entire Terran army. I hope you enjoyed watching this breakdown of how the... Oh, well, hold on, real quick.
Not enough minerals.
I don't have enough minerals? Well, crap, hold on. There. Alright, so, real quick, let me just explain what the planetary fortress does. And the, that one. Alright. So, how much for the planetary fortress? I got it, okay. Alright, so this right here is the orbital command. The command center can turn into a planetary fortress or an orbital command. The difference is being orbital command can fly, planetary fortress is grounded to the ground. Most of the Terran units can fly, by the way, not just the command center. This can fly. This can fly. Well, I guess not anymore. Used to be able to fly. This can fly. Let's see. This can fly. Pretty much anything that produces units can fly. Anyway, so yeah, this right here, what they're able to do is they can do this. They can put down extra supplies if they wanted to. Boom. There you go. More people. They can also scan. See, like that. So, boom, scan. Not only can they scan, but they can also drop down these mules. The most useful thing in the game, planetary fortresses to do. Free workers. It'll only last for like 60 seconds, right? But that's 60 seconds of like free money you're getting. It's just super useful. So like you want to have as many of these as you can and very few of these, just because this produces more money for free. But these right here, basically it's a planetary fortress. They're a defensive unit. So if any enemy tries to go near it, these cannons right there are going to blast. It only attacks ground units, but man, it does a ton of damage. It has way more health. Let's see, 1500. No, it has the same amount of health. The fact is, it's really beefy 1500 unit that does tons of damage. It can't move, but it does a lot of damage. And splash damage, 40 damage. But splash damage, so anybody that's in its radius will take 40 damage. It'll just murder everything. Anyway, yeah, so it's a really good defensive unit. You can have your guys mine and not have to worry about being attacked. But yeah, that's what that's for. Anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed the overview of the Terran army. This has been me explaining how that works. Tune in next time or sometime in the future for the Protoss army and the Zerg army. Anyway, guys, y'all have a great evening and peace.